Hey there, this is Hillary. I hope that you're doing well. It's nice to meet you. I want to go over a couple of the questions that you'd asked just here in this Loom because sometimes I find that it's easier to watch it on 1.5 speed. So when one spouse is threatening to turn the other spouse in so they can get everything, basically in a divorce process, I would talk to the client, the immigrant client, about VAWA, which is a way that we help people who go through extreme cruelty and abusing or using the legal system against someone who's an immigrant is definitely considered extreme cruelty for VAWA purposes. So I would talk to the immigrant client about that. Second question was when one spouse sponsors the other spouse and then they say that they would support them if they were allowed to come to the US. I'm not sure what that means. I'm so sorry. I read through these and then now I'm shooting this video at the end of the day. And I'm not sure what one spouse sponsors the other and said that they would support them if they were allowed to come to the US. That's that's a requirement for any green card application, is that you will sign a document called an I-864 that basically says that if push comes to shove, that you will help take care of this person so they don't essentially become indigent and reliant on the US government. None of that's ever enforced though, so it's kind of like a hollow promise because it's not being enforced at all. The next question is one spouse divorcing right before the other would have qualified for a visa. So once you're married, you can go through the process called VAWA, and it's basically which allows you to self-petition, even if your spouse wants to kind of screw you over or whatever it may be. You can still petition for yourself if you show that you've experienced extreme cruelty or battery from the spouse. And if someone is divorcing right before they would have gotten their green card, then that is definitely, again, kind of related to the first question, which is an abuse of the process. And I would think, I would have to know the exact situation, but a lot of times if it's a vindictive cancellation of the immigration process, then that's going to fall into the VAWA sphere, which whether or not you're divorced doesn't really matter. Once you've got a bona fide marriage is all we have to prove, that you had a bona fide marriage and that your divorce is less than 2 years ago from the time we filed. And last but not least, what attorneys and judges should know about the repercussions of a divorce on immigration status. So one of the important things is, stepchildren and that sort of thing. If the immigrant is going to try to get a stepchild to petition for them, that would be a consideration. And I think that, custody arrangements, if someone's going to either be deported or move out of the country, could be definitely a consideration. I really think that, and I did a whole TED talk on this. I'm going to link it to the end of this. It will show you that I'm a much better presenter and I clean up a little bit better than I am right now for you. But I did a TED talk on this. I think that it's really important for judges and other attorneys to recognize and know how to spot when in the divorce process, someone might be going through abuse or extreme cruelty from their spouse. It can turn very quickly into trafficking, in fact. And you can see that if you watch the TED Talk, and I can talk more about that when we do our CLE. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope that you have a really great rest of your night.